Welcome back to another exciting episode. Today, we are at the Guinness Open Gate Brewery and Barrel House, Baltimore. It's actually in Halethorpe, Maryland, but we're not going to split hairs on that. So come along with us and see what we can see, because it's Guinness time. At the time we visited, the hours of operation was Wednesday and Thursday, 3 p.m. to 10 p.m., Friday, noon to 10 p.m., Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Sunday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. There's a lot of guided tour and tasting packages that you can get. For instance, we got the guided tour and tasting brewing focus package, which was $19. You can also get the same thing but a history focus, which is also $19. And there's kind of a generic guided tour and tasting experience, which is also $19. And they do have, again, some other specialty ones that are a little more expensive. I will tell you that at least when we did the tour and booked it, you were able to also pre-order a pint of beer of your choice. And we did that, but then we found out later, because of all the tastings that you did at the end, you really didn't need that extra pint of beer. So our suggestion, skip the extra pint, just do the tastings. As you're waiting for your group to be called, there's a really neat little museum that's also on the main floor that you can go through that talks about Guinness, its history, how it changed the way they make beer, how beer was made throughout history. It really is a neat little museum. I'm not sure about all of the groups, but our specific group was told to assemble at the Experimental Brewery sign over by the steps, and then the brewery tour fun will begin. There's a ton of information and history that goes into this tour, so I'm going to let my buddy tell you all about it. And then I'll be right back to tell you about our taste testing.
Just a little bit about what makes this place so special. Guinness has almost 50 breweries around the world. Where the magic / science happens. And just for a little bit of perspective, what it means to us to be an experimental brewery, we as Guinness have been here for approximately 6 years. In that time, our brewers have made over 1,000 unique experimental brews.
On this 1-hour group tour of the Baltimore Experimental Brewery, one of their charismatic guides will teach you all about this innovation brewery. Go inside the brewery and get hands-on experience with the ingredients used to make your favorite Guinness brews. Learn what processes are conducted in the beer-making process. This one is for the enthusiasts. Reservations for those under the age of 12 are not required. Guided tastings take place after the tour and last approximately 30 minutes. Guests must be at least 21 years or older for this portion of the experience, and identification is required by law. Arthur Guinness started brewing ales in Leixlip, County Kildare, and then from 1759 at the St. James's Gate Brewery in Dublin. On December 31st, he signed a 9,000-year lease at £45 per annum for the unused brewery. However, the lease is no longer in effect because the brewery property has been bought out when it expanded beyond the original 4-acre site. 10 years after establishment, on May 19, 1769, Guinness exported his beer for the first time when 6.5 barrels were shipped to England. The business expanded by adopting steam power and further exporting to the English market. On the death of Benjamin Guinness in 1868, the business was worth over £1 million, and the brewery site had grown from about 1 acre to over 64 acres. In 1886, his son Edward sold 65% of the business by a public offering on the London Stock Exchange for £6 million. Guinness brewed its last porter in 1974. In 1983, a non-family chief executive, Ernest Saunders, was appointed and arranged the reverse takeover of the leading Scotch whisky producer, Distillers, in 1986. In 2018, Guinness opened its first brewery in 64 years in the United States in Baltimore, Maryland. This Baltimore location will focus on special brews and Guinness Blonde American Lager, but not the classic stout, which will still only be brewed in Dublin.
Thank you.
It is our flagship beer. We start every tasting this way because it is a nice, simple beer to kind of analyze together. And then the next couple beers, as experimentals, you guys can kind of analyze yourselves. So, Baltimore Blonde is 5% ABV, alcohol by volume.
Now that the taste testing has begun, you can see that each beer is introduced and explain a little bit to you. Then you do the taste test, and more comes and more comes. I think there was 4 total. And take a look at the size of the tastings. That's why we suggest you probably don't need that extra pint at the end, like we did. And I'll show you that later too.
I know it.
Right, guys.
She likes starting.
Good, I'm glad you are excited for this one. This is the Guinness Draft Stout, so it's a pretty classic one. This one's 4.2%. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it once everybody has one. It's a beautiful beer, start to finish.
After that wonderful taste testing, we went back upstairs and checked out the wonderful gift shop so we can work off some of those beer calories. Then we went back over to the tour check-in desk to get our previously purchased beers. I got the Guinness Blonde because I like a lighter beer.
Guinness Blonde.
So have a good tour, guys? Yep.
Great.
What is that?
Your seat.
So it's an ink malt printer. Ink malt printer. If you drink from the sides, you can carry it pretty far down.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's
Enjoy.
awesome.
When we go to Dublin, you know I'm getting that again.
Luann got the stout because she likes a darker beer, and because the stout has a more stout head on it, she was able to get the Guinness emblem lasered onto the head of the beer. That was really cool. Leaving the building, but before you exit the gate, don't forget to check out the grounds, because the day that we were there, they had some music to listen to, they had a guaco taco truck, and they had the outside bar opening up, and plenty of places to sit. Well, I hope you liked this tour, and I hope to see you all back very, very soon. And as always, have a great day.